Hello and welcome to Album Club's recap of what was our fifth album, White Noise by PVRIS, spelled PVRIS, but it is meant to be Paris. This was their debut album, released in 2014, and yeah, I came across this album, or at least the band, as kind of this kind of alt rock, but kind of with some electronic and pop elements in it, and they just kind of stood out a little bit. Seemed a little kind of cut above maybe some of the rest of some similar bands. So yeah, and I always quite enjoyed their album. PVRIS were actually the first band I'd ever seen live at kind of a proper rock concert, and remember them just seeming like at live they were just amazing. So yeah, they've always had a soft spot in my heart. But yeah, so we did White Noise, which, fair to say, when we reviewed it on air, wasn't met with as much praise as I was hoping it would be met with. I think it got some of the lowest scores we've recorded on Album Club.
Probably to that point, but I think we've gone lower.
Oh, we've gone lower since,
but
yeah, we have.
That
gone.
doesn't count. And we're
I
not
was thinking
that.
of the wrong one when we went lower. I can't wait for the busted recap.
We're not doing it. We're not doing it.
We have
to. It'll be like a 2 minute. It'll be like a 2 minute review.
Not even that. We're gonna upload a 10-second video, just being like, look.
This was
and then that'll be it.
Because Tom will be with us for that recap, and me and Tom will join forces, and we will.
Okay. Well,
anyway.
You and Tom can do that on your own. You and Tom can do that on your own. Yeah, fine.
Anyway,
and then we'll say how it was the best album ever released.
Okay, carry on, Ben.
So at the time, didn't get great scores. But now looking back at it since, and we've mentioned this in a few of our recaps already, that we made this change of just doing a score to doing a score and a preference list, which was kind of meant to kind of separate the two elements of how much did you enjoy it and how much do you actually think it's like a good album. I think that's helped this one a bit, because I look back at this album and think actually it doesn't push as a great album, but it's not bad. It's got some interesting stuff going on in it. And as far as a debut album, I'm not saying we should rely on it being a debut album, but as far as a debut album goes, I think it's a
debut.
Huh? Yeah.
I didn't realise.
Yeah. As far as a debut album goes, it's quite strong, and especially as for them, I mean, this was their first release after the only other thing they'd released, as far as I know, was an acoustic EP. So yeah, I mean, the album, just to kind of run through it, it starts with some quite strong songs. You have some standout songs like St. Patrick and My House, which are very dancey, very electro kind of pop, which are really just great songs if you know them and you can just dance along to them, and they're really kind of uplifting. But then it kind of, in the middle of the album, we see them trying to do some more experimentation. You have the really hard-hitting White Noise. Mirrors is quite a jarring, but in a good way song. And like, as in not as in a jarring, as in I was just trying to think of a way to describe the sound.
Not as in jarring, as in a bad way.
Yeah, I didn't mean like it hurts, as in just like it's a quite up and down and quite dramatic. And then it all picks up again at Let Them In to round the album off. And yeah, it's I think it is very easy to look at it and say it's not a great album. But I do think it's still kind of there's some stuff which puts it.
I guess I'm taking the easy way out.
Gives it a kind of a cut about, because he does, yeah.
I don't really.
Which kind of puts it above some of the rest of stuff which is similar to it. And I think one of the main things with it is that there's a slight that I think they hold a theme quite well in the album.
There's a theme?
Yeah, it's not as when you say it like that, no. Like
what do you mean?
Just
there's a theme. Oh, is there a theme? Or when you say it like that, nah.
All right, yeah, that wasn't one of my best moments. No, what I more meant was it's just the general stuff that the songs sing about. I think they're all quite similar. And I feel like there's just throughout the whole thing, while some of the songs can be quite poppy, there's still this kind of a bit of a darkness to it compared to other bands who have this kind of sound or have this setup, which I think would have been interesting if they had gone with it a bit more, which I don't think they quite do, and I think that's probably where it's let down. It is a bit safe. A few of the songs aren't the most standout. And it ends up being not quite as powerful as it could have been. But overall, I still think it kind of does enough to not be a bad album. Yeah, Dylan, you wanna counter everything I've just said?
I mean, I feel their sound is just totally confused and they don't know what they're doing. Like, because it sounds like they want to be poppy, but then also rocky, but then also dancey, and it ends up being none of those things. It's this really unhappy medium, and it's just well, first of all, it's boring. Like, I didn't want to listen to it again. Like the other day when we decided we were going to record them today,
yeah,
I listened to Demon Days. I didn't need to listen to Abbey Road. I just looked at the sound. I was like, I don't want to, because and I have the free time to do it. I don't. I listened to like 2 of the songs, just to be like, okay, just as a reminder. But then I was like, I don't want to. Like, it's just not. It's not. I find as music. I don't know if that's because, what I want out of music is too much. I think I do. I'm a bit extra with music sometimes. This is the Radiohead fan talking. But yeah, it's just not. It's not really anything. I don't know what to call it, and that puts up a huge barrier straight away in my analysis and enjoyment of this album.
I can understand what you said, kind of mean about the disjointed sound. Like they do try and do quite a lot of things, like there's a few different sounds they explore, and maybe that's kind of what I was trying to say a little bit earlier, was they don't quite bring it all together, because there's I think there's it's all right trying different sounds, but if you can bring them kind of if you can at the end of it still have them all somewhat connected, then I think that works. But I think it's missing that connection, and that's what I was saying, is they seem to miss this overarching kind of connection and theme or sound, which would have helped bring it together.
I just think they needed to flip a coin and be done with it. Like, just choose a sound, I forgot what I was going to say because I was really proud of my flip a coin joke.
Should we move on to Charlotte then?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I feel like I enjoyed it more this time around. And I think, I was being less snobby about the sound. Maybe I should have been a little bit more snobby about the sound, because I think you are right that it's kind of going for too many things and kind of ending up being none of them. But that said, I really enjoyed it. The start is, in my opinion, a lot stronger, and I think that kind of makes sense with it being a debut. I feel like a lot of debut albums that I've listened to, like, not to generalize, but I think typically they are stronger at the I mean, to be fair, albums typically are stronger at the front and then weaker at the back. So we vibe. And the songs that I know better are at the front of the album as well. I had this weird moment. It wasn't like it was flowing super, like, it wasn't flowing badly, but it wasn't flowing super well. But I was like listening out for certain songs that I wasn't necessarily sure what they sounded like, but I was like, I know that I'll know the song when I hear it. Things like White Noise, which is the title the title track, slipped right past me. I was like, oh, it'll come up soon. I'm like a couple of songs away from the end. Scroll back. I'm like, it's bang in the middle.
Hang on. White Noise, the song with a huge, like, loud chorus, managed to slip past you.
breath. I don't know.
White Noise was just like the hardest hitting, just dramatic chorus in the album.
I don't have a defense for myself. I was doing a tricky Sudoku.
Okay, sure.
It flew past me apparently. Yeah, it was all right. I think it is very mediocre. It's probably I think I keep saying I enjoyed it, and I think that's kind of where it ends. And I think that's more of a preference thing rather than this was a good album thing. And coming into this, I was expecting to give it the same as what I was giving Gorillaz. But I really can't say anything that I think is particularly strong for it. So
you're directly comparing this to Demon Days.
I am. I don't know why.
Why? Are you kidding me?
I think it was the flow thing. I was like, this feels kind of similar. It's like every song is doing something, but they're not necessarily all doing it together.
Yeah. I do.
Name to me what the songs do. Name to me what a song does.
It makes me happy. All of them.
What different are these songs doing, Charlotte?
Well, White Noise has a big chorus.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Didn't think of that one.
Bruh, I don't know music.
Okay.
No, but you say that, Dylan. But I do think they are obviously we're not just comparing it to say Demon Days, but I do get that comparison though. Not saying that they are similar in any ways, but the stuff which I see, you say, oh, name one thing that the song does differently and stuff. I don't necessarily remember that from Demon Days. But you'll say, oh yeah, this song does this song does this song does this, and I'll do that for this album, say.
So I'm asking you now.
Yeah, and I've already said.
So I'm asking you now.
Yeah, so I've said St. Patrick, My House are the two dancier ones.
Yeah.
Holy's a bit more kind of dark and rugged. White Noise is the big hitting one. Mirrors, say, very kind of dramatic up and down. Ghost cools it down.
That's not what each song is doing.
Yeah, that's the sounds they're exploring.
That's not what each song is doing,
though.
What idea is each song expanding upon that is completely separate from every other one?
But why does it? It doesn't necessarily have to be a different idea they're expanding on. I say that
it does if you're giving it that credit. That's what both of you are saying it does, but it isn't, and you're stumped because you've realised it isn't doing that.
No, but it does.
That's what I said. I said that I thought that it was doing the thing, but it's not doing the thing. So I can't say that it's doing the thing.
It's not. It's not. And that's why I'm annoyed you're comparing it to Demon Days, because Demon Days truly does have.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I said I came into this thinking that they were similar, and I'm realizing that they're not.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I wasn't atting you anymore.
Okay. Well. I feel at it.
That's what I'm like.
Should we?
Look, I'm not saying these people are without talent, but well, first of all, fix your drums. I feel if they recorded their drums better, I don't even remember if they're real drums. That would bring a whole new, greater sound to the album.
The drummer isn't part of the actual band. He was an additional.
Okay.
Employ a better drummer.
Fair enough.
They are, yeah.
But no, employ a drummer. That was the problem. They didn't have a drummer.
Yeah. And I think
Okay,
since now, Lynn has actually started to play drums for the band. She's the lead singer, and I think she started doing drums. So yeah. Anyway, should we move on to some ratings and stuff? Yeah. So I'm going to start this off, and at the time I gave it a 7, which is too generous. So I'm giving it a 6 instead, which it deserves, because whilst there's still a lot more they could have done, it still kind of flows quite nicely. They try to do a few things in it, maybe not as much as they could have. And had they really pushed for some variation, especially later in the album, then it really would have made it a lot more interesting. And yeah, if they'd really fully fledged some ideas and really made some songs stand out, that would have helped. But it's still a it's still a nice album, and it does have some good points. I say, especially kind of the start is very good. It's got some good songs throughout it, which does help. So I still think it's a just kind of above average album. So 6.
Lovely.
Charlotte, you want to go next?
No, but I will. I'm struggling a little bit because I'm having realizations. I came into this thing I was going to give it a 6, and I'm debating between a 4 and a 5. Definitely not 6 in my
4.
opinion. The reason I argue 4 is that I'm trying to leave more space in the upper parts, because I know that I'm quite generous with my scores, and that's caused me issues, because I'm like, this is better than this, but I can't necessarily give it a score that distinguishes itself. So if I give this a 4, then it leaves more room at the top.
She's rating it so she can, so that every other album now she can just she can score it lower.
I'm better, higher.
Confused. Basically, she has a huge cluster of albums that she's given the same, right? So she's trying to separate
them by
and I can't imagine myself giving anything. Like, obviously, I need to leave space at the bottom, because I don't think this is a bad album by any means.
You did say that. Me and Dylan have said this though. The reason our scores are clustered at the top is we do choose albums we want to listen to.
Yeah,
this isn't a fair representation of all the albums that come out.
Yeah, exactly.
So you are allowed a cluster at the top.
Yeah.
I said I wasn't just trying to sort out your score on this one. Like, I am just we have actually said that in the past. But...
Yeah, no, I agree.
Probably have a cluster in the middle as well, Charlotte, because there's so much mediocre stuff that these people don't realize are mediocre.
I'm gonna give it a 4, I think. Maybe.
Okay.
4. We'll give it a 4. Because I think it is a good album. Like, I don't think it's a bad album to listen to. But I think it's when you get into the analysis of it, you're kind of like, does it hold up?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
All up.
Does it?
Go on, Dylan. Let's wrap this up with your score.
It's a 3. Like I said, they're not talentless, but their whole sound needs a sort of revamp, because there's nothing enticing about it, and if it were, it sure as hell would not hold my attention. You know, it's so flat. Like I said with the drums, like, just fix the drums, and I think you're miles ahead already. Yeah, there's just no direction. I mean, maybe less than a 3. I'll stay at 3. I'm not. It's not god awful. Like, it's not.
It's not busted.
You know, I wouldn't, like, you know, not go near it. I'm not going to bother with analogies. Yeah, look, it's a 3. There's quite a lot that needs work. It could be better than a 3 if it's revamped.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying there's no hope for it, and that's why it's not lower. But yeah. It's not even mediocre because of its just lackluster sound. But yeah, I'll leave it at that.
All right. Well, there you go. That's our recap on White Noise by PVRIS. We'll be doing more recaps and other reviews soon, so stay posted, and we'll be posting some more videos.